What's trending now?
Add them on Facebook.
Let the tweeting begin. The hashtag does that.
News and views from Belf's News Gallery.
Well, among our trending stories this morning is the death of Alexei Navalny, who was one of Vladimir Putin's largest political opponents. His body was found covered in bruises, and this was late last weekend. Russia's prison service announced this on Friday, that he had died in prison, and then as more information was coming out from those that are close to the jail where Navalny died, paramedics say they found a collection of bruises on his body, and there are many who believe that Vladimir Putin had him murdered. Been an outspoken opponent of Vladimir Putin's. Other stories trending this morning: flood watches stretch along much of the California coast, and some evacuation warnings have been ordered. So we have seen California hit by incredibly heavy rains that have caused hundreds of mudslides, and now they're getting set for another round of rain in the midst of all that. So National Weather Service issued a flood watch yesterday afternoon, and emergency management officials then gearing up for evacuation warnings, and this was occurring over the weekend. Also over the weekend, incredibly sad news coming out of Minnesota. Burnsville, Minnesota, a man armed with multiple guns and large amounts of ammunition shot at police from inside a home that was filled with children yesterday. He killed 2 officers and a firefighter who was there providing medical aid to one of the wounded officers. And then a third officer was also wounded in the shooting. Thankfully, he was not killed. So authorities called it, as you might imagine, a terrible day. So the firefighter, who also worked as a paramedic, was shot while he was trying to help one of the officers. And likely we'll be learning more details about what happened coming up later today, most certainly. As the bodies of the dead officers left a hospital, officers saluted. The police chief of Burnsville said, "We're hurting. Today, 3 members of our team made the ultimate sacrifice for this community. They're heroes." Sad, incredibly sad story. Also, Donald Trump is trending every day. I mean, because he is in the news so much. A New York judge has ordered Trump and his companies to pay $355 million. So Trump then, and this was late last week, Trump now railing against the judge who slapped him with that fine. This was $355 million fine in his New York civil fraud trial. And he went after the long list of prosecutors with cases against him. So Trump, I'm looking for Trump's actual comments. I think a lot of this you've heard before. So Trump was, according to the Associated Press, Friday, Trump went on a 15-minute screed, is their word, about the criminal and civil cases against him. And Trump has said that he will appeal that. Now, you see a lot of things happening as a result of this. Truckers who support Donald Trump say they're refusing to drive to New York City after he was slapped with that $355 million fine. And Chicago Ray is a social media influencer. He's a conservative. And he said that he had been on the radio talking to drivers, and they're going to start refusing loads to New York City starting on Monday, he said. He had he posted a video from inside his truck. Said he's already spoken to some drivers that work with him to tell their boss they will not go to New York City. And he said, I don't know how far across the country this is or how many truckers are going to start denying loads to New York City, but I'll tell you what, F around and find out, he said. Also, the wife of an investor has launched a GoFundMe to help Trump handle these legal expenses. So the GoFundMe had a goal of $355 million. That's the amount that the judge ordered Trump to pay in that civil fraud case. And the they're varying reports. Fox reported that it had raised already in excess of $300,000. This story says about half that. So you wonder how quickly that's growing. I would imagine that $300,000 figure has already been eclipsed. So with interest, Trump and his business could pay more than $450 million, according to the New York Attorney General's office. So this online fundraiser was started by Alina Cardone, the wife of investor Grant Cardone. He's an entrepreneur and investor. And she wrote on the GoFundMe page, I stand unwaveringly with Donald Trump in the face of what I see as unprecedented and unfair treatment by certain judicial elements in New York. Also, Donald Trump has unveiled new footwear. This was over the weekend. He made an appearance Saturday at Philadelphia's SneakerCon. It's a sneaker convention. And he was there to talk to young voters. And America in the Morning had audio. I'm always more likely to want to go and actually see video for myself. It sounded like there was a lot of booing on some of the clips that I've heard of Trump being booed. But he unveiled this footwear, and they're priced at $399, gold high tops, adorned with the American flag. And the launch also included the promotion of Trump-branded Victory 47 fragrances that retail at $99, according to AP. The sales of the sneakers and fragrances are facilitated through a website which says they are not affiliated with Trump's campaign efforts. So there was also, New York Post had a story of a guy who paid, I think it was like $3,000 for a pair of these. Also, a group of 20 tech companies announced on Friday that they've agreed to work together to prevent deceptive artificial intelligence content from interfering with elections across the globe this year. So that happened on Friday. Not sure. Meta, I know, is one of them. Also, Israel's cabinet yesterday unanimously approved a declaration saying that they will not push for a Palestinian statehood for Gaza. Forget about Palestinian statehood. That's coming from Israel's cabinet yesterday. They unanimously approved this. And they said it was a reward for terrorism. They said Israel utterly rejects international dictates regarding a permanent settlement with the Palestinians. A settlement, if it is to be reached, will come about solely through direct negotiations between the parties without preconditions, they said. Also, Donald Trump going after fake news again on Friday. He claims that they used artificial intelligence to add weight to images of Trump while he's playing golf. So Trump, this was among Trump's complaints on Friday. The fake news used AI to create the picture on the top left, he said on True Social. These are despicable people, but everyone knows that. The other pictures are me hitting golf balls today to show the difference. Sadly, in our country, fake news is all you get. Representative Dean Phillips of Minnesota announced, as you know, he's running for president, the Democrat running for president, launching a primary challenge against President Joe Biden. He announced he was laying off staff over the weekend, but he was adamant he is not dropping out of the race yet. So he said it was hard to raise money as a candidate who's defying the Democrat Party. And he said, I found it almost impossible to raise enough to do this campaign the way I want. And today, sadly, I had to announce layoffs to a lot of my staff members. Amazing people who gave up a lot personally and a lot professionally to join this remarkable campaign. And it was really a tough day for all of us. So he's still appealing to voters, to Democrat voters. He said, so if you still believe that change is possible and you still believe that we can do better, please consider investing in our campaign. I'm going to continue this journey as long as you want this journey continued, he said. Governor Greg Abbott on Friday announced that Texas is building an 80-acre base camp in Eagle Pass for Texas National Guard soldiers. And these are the soldiers who are deployed for Operation Lone Star. It's a $10 billion Texas effort to stop people from coming into Texas illegally. And he said the new facility will house between 1,800 to 2,300 soldiers and possibly more if the state deploys more troops to the border. And he said each will have individual rooms for soldiers who are being deployed there. Recent survey. Oh, this is incredible. The Presidential Greatness Project. This is just will make your stomach turn, seriously. Presidential experts, and I'm putting experts in quotes, all right? So-called experts are ranking the best presidents, with today, of course, being President's Day. And so Abraham Lincoln is America's greatest president. But Joe Biden comes in at 14th. 14th. He placed ahead of Ronald Reagan, Ulysses S. Grant. Barack Obama comes in at number 7. 8 spots higher than when experts were polled last year. Oh, that ought to be a part of today's Looney Tunes in the news. Are you kidding? Give me a break. Other stories trending this morning. Cillian Murphy, Robert Downey Jr. Were honored for their work at the BAFTA Awards. Murphy was named Best Actor for his work in Oppenheimer. I still want to see that. I've not seen that yet. So those awards are also trending. And that's a look at the stories trending this morning in Belf's News Gallery.